Hey everybody, welcome back to Wrestling Exec. Today I'm going to be giving you my WWE Clash in Italy 2026 review, and we have so much to talk about today, so let's get started. Okay, starting off with the first match of Clash in Italy, it was Cody versus Gunther. Now, it wasn't necessarily a super bad match. It did feel kind of predictable in the sense that I feel like they were just doing the moves and then countering it. It was sort of like a back and forth of that. And it wasn't bad, but I mean, what were we expecting between these two? They have literally no story together. They literally pulled up the story out of absolutely nowhere, so I'm not surprised that it ended up like this. For a lot of the match, Cody was in that headlock situation. I think he was in there like 3 different times, and I honestly thought the match was going to be over. I thought they were going to pull a WrestleMania and that it was going to be like a tapping out and that was it. But surprisingly, Cody held up. And let's not even get started on the whole rope thing that they had going on. Like, did ChatGPT write this? Seriously, because the fact that they had that rope thing in 2 different matches, maybe they even had it in all the matches. I don't know. I watched it all and I noticed it a whole bunch of times. And honestly, let's not even get started on the finish. That finish, what was the finish? What was going on? Because obviously everybody's saying Gunther had his leg under the rope, meaning the count should have never counted. My question is, why did Cody pull him up? I don't know if it was a kick out or Cody pulled him up at like the count of 3 or right between 2 and 3, but I thought it was a botch. I thought they botched. And then I thought it was like a fake ending, and then when Cody actually was announced as a winner, I was like, what is going on? And I found it funny that if you look in the background, the green shirt guy that everybody sees at every match, even he was confused. Everybody was confused because it looked like he kicked up. I don't know why Cody pulled him back right when they were counting the 3. So whatever that botch was, or whatever, if that was part of the match, it made it so confusing for no reason. But overall, I was right about my prediction. I knew that Cody Rhodes was going to win. So, overall, that match was meh. Next up, we had Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. And now this match, honestly, I don't know if it was better than their WrestleMania match, but I feel like it was on par with it. I feel like they had really good chemistry. There was a little bit of botches, maybe, or just times where they weren't coordinated, but overall it wasn't a bad match. I feel like I've definitely seen them doing worse in other matches, but obviously we had them going back and forth for a little bit, and honestly they were giving each other really strong looking punches, and I would have thought they were actually connecting with each other. Of course, we had a lot of shows of strength between them picking each other up and like throwing each other, and the fact that happened multiple times is kind of insane, and I hope they're okay, because I don't know if you guys saw, but they had sort of a moment where they were going outside of the ring, and like supposedly Rhea Ripley hit her back coming down, but then she went and slammed Jade Cargill onto the like side of the ring, and I know that hurt. So I genuinely hope they're okay. Because honestly, they were having a lot of really hard like moves that like looked like they hurt, and you could hear them. And like I hope nobody's injured, because I don't want it to be an injury fest. But obviously, there was a lot of times where they were gonna hit their finishers, and then they like maneuvered out of it. And I think there was a moment where Rhea Ripley she kind of got stuck like under Jade Cargill trying to figure out how to do the riptides, and that was kind of a funny moment. But obviously we had B-Fab, Michin, and Charlotte Flair, and it was kind of funny how they had Charlotte Flair jump out of nowhere. Like, it kind of reminded me of a flying squirrel because she just jumped on them. And then obviously we have to mention the fact that there was another rope moment where they had, I think it was B-Fab putting Jade Cargill's leg onto the rope, and the referee actually saw it, and then a few minutes later Charlotte Flair put Rhea Ripley's leg onto the rope. So I think that was a common theme, but overall Rhea Ripley ended up winning, and I was right about that prediction, and I give it honestly the same level, maybe a little bit better than Cody versus Gunther, but I'm gonna rate it around a 6.5. Next up, we had Uba versus Brock Lesnar. And now, this match was low-key, I don't know if it's better than their WrestleMania match. It's also like the same thing with Jade and Rhea. I feel like it's on par with their WrestleMania matches. And honestly, I kind of like this one a little bit better. The only thing is, of course, Uba had no defense against himself. Like, barely any. Which is kind of upsetting to me. But can we also talk about how many F5s there were? Like, that's insane. I think there was so much that practically the whole match was just F5s. And I will say that I like the fact that these matches had a lot more time than WrestleMania. Like, why is it that they chose the biggest show to do the biggest L you could ever have? Like 10-minute ads, 3-minute matches, and the show ended early. And also, I will note that I saw that the post show for this was supposed to be 5, but it ended at like 4:45. So I don't know why, but I noticed that also with Backlash that the matches were kind of shorter, or like not shorter, but they were ending earlier. That like the whole show in itself was ending earlier than I guess they expected it to, which is kind of insane. But anyway, back to the match. Obviously, we have to note how many F5s there were. What, there was like 4 in the ring. Maybe like all of them were in the ring. Then, of course, the huge one with Oba going through the table, which was insane. And the fact that he got up like right at like 8 or 9 and then like basically ran to the ring is low-key insane. Like, he ate all of that up. And I know everybody's kind of upset that Oba lost, but I mean, I feel like I had a feeling they were going to do that they were going to do Oba winning WrestleMania, Brock winning this, and at SummerSlam, Oba's winning. Like, you can count me at that prediction right now, because I know for a fact that Oba's going to win, and I guess Brock Lesnar's going to retire. Also, him coming back was, of course, super random, super surprising, honestly, because I genuinely thought his like retirement was for real. So the fact that he's back is kind of insane, but I mean, if this is what we're gonna get, I can take it. Now, of course, everybody was saying that with Oba winning, Triple H is gonna bury him. I don't think you can bury Oba. Like, I just saw that they were posting how Oba was like won the King of the Ring tournament, or he like won the Fatal 4-Way, I guess, that he was in the group of. But I honestly think they have a huge future with Oba. So I'm not too upset that he lost. But I mean, of course, it would have been, I guess, it can go both ways. There was really no right or wrong answer, because I guess Brock winning now just shows that Oba's not going to take the L. He's not. He's too, I guess, big or over to take an L. He's going to want a rematch. It's going to be at SummerSlam. I highly doubt they're going to have a rematch at Night of Champions. I hope they don't. I hope they wait till SummerSlam. That way they can do like an official retirement. But overall, I think this match was great. Honestly, the ending was fine too. It wasn't bad. I guess Oba being defeated with 7 F5s, and I think there was a bunch of other finishers too that he took. So I think it was like a good way to save him. The whole Gunther situation with Cody was not a good way to save him, because that just made the match seem so abrupt, like so random. But this was like the perfect way to save a character. So overall, my rating for it is a good like 7.5. Honestly, this could even be an 8 out of 10. And my prediction was in fact correct. Next up, we have Sol Ruka versus Becky Lynch. Now, this match was probably the one I was looking least forward to. And it's simply for the reason that I think them being paired together is kind of random and out of nowhere. I will say that out of all the people I thought Sol Ruka would go up against, I didn't imagine it being Becky. Of course, we have to note that her Royal Rumble performance was insane. It was so good. So I would have liked to see her go up against someone like Roxanne. I feel like they're in sort of the same category. And they're also, new from NXT. So I felt like they would have been a perfect match. But obviously that's not what we're getting. We're getting her versus Becky, which I think was kind of shows how good WWE sees her, how much potential they see with her. I will note that she is kind of nervous when coming out, or I don't know if it's nervous or she doesn't seem to connect with the crowd. And what I mean by that is, like, when she was coming out, she sort of seemed awkward. And no, I'm not saying that's anything bad, but I just feel like kind of bad for her because she's really new on the roster if you think about it. And for her to already be IC champion is kind of insane. It's like, it feels like the girl version of Oba, how she's getting pushed so much. So I will say that's like a disclaimer I have, I guess. Not necessarily a pet peeve, but just something that I noticed. And now I'm not bashing her in any way. I get it. I mean, she's so new and there's so much pressure on her. And I think she did say in an interview or something that she felt like she had a lot of pressure on her. So I'm not holding that against her at all. I'm just saying that I feel like she needs to get out more. I feel like she needs to have more big matches like this to sort of get her used to that type of space. Because on Raw and like on SmackDown, I don't even know what brand she's on, but on those, like, in those areas, I guess she's kind of used to that. But this is like a huge show. What are they saying, that it was 12,000 people? So I guess she was nervous that it was such a big crowd, and obviously it's an international crowd, so you don't know which way they're gonna go. But they were actually cheering for her really well. But anyway, on to the match. It was a pretty good match. Obviously there were a lot of, I guess you could say, the same thing that there was in every other match, where they were like going back and forth and they almost hit a finisher, but then they like maneuver out of it. We saw that with Rhea and Jade, and we also saw that with Cody and Gunther. But we did see Becky hold I guess her arm bar a lot of the time. And it wasn't bad, but it was kind of funny. The moment like that Soul had her hands together. And I will note that when, I guess, Soul Ruka was trying to choke out Becky, that Jessica Carr kept saying, "Come on, Becky, come on, Becky." Like, I didn't know if she was trying to say, "Come on, Becky, tap out," or "Come on, Becky, get out of it." But I just thought it was so funny. And the camera picked it up and was so close that it was like just a funny thought for me. But obviously we had a lot of high flying moves, and I've heard people saying that her and like people like her who are high flying, and like Javon Evans also, I hope they're protecting themselves, like when it comes to maneuvering these type of moves, so that they're not having so much of an impact on their body, because she and Javon Evans are doing a lot of spots that, like, I hope in the future are not going to come back and like bite them. I guess you could say with Randy Orton the same way. Like, he used to do a bunch of moves, and now that his like back is messed up, he can't do them. So I really hope that's not the case for them. But there were a lot of good spots. It wasn't a bad match at all. Obviously, we still had the thing going on with Jessica Carr and Becky Lynch. I don't know where did that even come from? Like, whose idea was that to think, let's put a referee against a wrestler? Like, at this point, can we just get Jessica Carr versus Becky Lynch at SummerSlam or Night of Champions? Like, I think that's what we're going for, or what we should be doing. Because the fact that they keep doing this over and over and over again, we need it to happen at this point. I'm waiting for that. Actually, that will be one of my predictions for a match that I would want to see. Let me know if you guys want to see a video like that, where I say like the type of matches I would want to see. That would be one. But obviously, we know how it ended. Sol Ruka ended up taking the IC champion. And honestly, good for her. I know that it's a lot. Like, I'm happy for her to see that we have something new. And I did predict that Becky was gonna win, but I'm not upset that she won. I think their match was good. It wasn't bad. I do give it like a 6, because honestly I wasn't looking that forward to it, but they delivered. They didn't do bad. Now, last but not least, we had the main event, which was Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns. And now if you heard my prediction for Clash in Italy, you obviously knew that I thought Roman was going to win. Well, actually, I never said explicitly, that was on me, that Roman was going to win. However, I sort of knew he was going to win. Now, don't get me wrong, Jacob Fatu and him fighting over and over and over again, I'm not necessarily mad that they're fighting. It's just, we're getting the same thing over and over again. And I know you guys realize it too, that they're just recycling it. They're trying to extend storylines that are, in my opinion, not there. Or they're trying to find something when it's not there. And now, don't get me wrong, Jacob and Roman, they're a good match. I guess them being family kind of gives them a different sense of chemistry. Sort of like you can see the emotion because you're like, oh, Jacob is fighting this hard because he's trying to prove to his cousin, or I don't even know what his relationship is to Roman Reigns, other than the fact that they're both in the Anoa'i family. But you sort of see through like how they're acting and how Roman Reigns was like talking in the ring, that he was trying to like not prove himself, but sort of show why he is who he is, which is tribal chief. Now, obviously this match, it was all over the place. They start off in the ring, they end up at the concession stand, which I thought was so funny. It was really the funniest thing ever. But obviously they end up in the concession stand. He gets hit with like an ice bucket. They hit each other in the stairs. It wasn't a bad thing to see. Obviously we had Jacob Fatu getting absolutely destroyed by that like metal step, which is kind of funny. Like, I don't know why it was so funny, but it was really funny. And then I don't know if anybody else was paying attention, because I think sometimes when you're watching WWE, it's not just the match itself that's going on, but the background. Like, I saw clips that supposedly there was a fight in the crowd, and I did notice that security was like trying to go up against these people, but I had no clue it was a fight. And supposedly I've been seeing all over the place that it was a fight in the crowd. I don't remember which match it was in, but I thought that was so interesting. And also when Roman speared Jacob, he like the mat, or I guess like the protective barrier, fell on two different, I guess, like security guards, and I was like, oh my goodness. And they took forever to get up, and I was thinking, I'm like, they definitely got hurt. Like, we're out here hurting our security guards too. It's not just referees and wrestlers. But I hope they're okay, because it looked gnarly. Then obviously the funniest thing was all the spots that they were trying to do. I don't know why it was so funny. I think this match had like a comedic timing, where it was like some spots happened in the funniest way possible. And also, can I note that the Slim Jim tables are the most bizarre thing in WWE? Like, please. I was hoping when they were getting a table from under that it didn't say Slim Jim, and I was greatly disappointed when I saw that it was in fact the Slim Jim table. And I feel like it ruins it. Obviously they had Scary Movie on the mat, and like, okay, it's on the mat, but on the tables, like, I'm surprised on the wrestlers like gear it doesn't say like Slim Jim or something. And I think we're getting to a point where it's going to be that. But anyway, obviously we have Jacob Fatu giving Roman a spear, which I don't know why it was so funny. And then what is it with Roman and that turnbuckle? Like, the way that he is spamming that turnbuckle in every match, like, is kind of insane. Like, I don't know. It's just the same thing that they do over and over and over again. And also that when they actually get to using the table, that table fell apart into pieces, like literal pieces. When I was watching, I was like, where did they get that table from? And if I'm being honest, that table looks like it has the same material from all the furniture. Like, I just imagine if one of the wrestlers try to sit on it, it's gonna break, which is funny to me for some reason. But it reminds me of, like, I don't know if you guys have bought IKEA furniture, but IKEA furniture has the same like wood looking material, and I just think that like whatever you buy from IKEA is gonna fall apart the same way that it fell apart when Jacob went through it. But overall, the OTC, the tribal chief, won against Jacob. And if you ask me, I don't think Jacob's falling in line. The same thing they did with Jey Uso. I'm surprised Jey Uso is still falling in line. I honestly thought that Jey Uso was gonna like betray Roman there when they went up and like joined Jacob Fatu. But I guess that didn't happen. And there was also no interference, which I predicted. I'm pretty sure that there was going to be some interference, but there was none. And I guess that was nice to see. It would have been funny to see them interfere, but I guess they're trying to go for like the angle that Roman can be Fatu without any help, which I guess is a good angle. Now, the match wasn't bad. I think Clash in Italy overall wasn't a bad show. Like, I'm happy that it wasn't a bad show. I'm glad that it was somewhat better than WrestleMania. Like, well, WrestleMania night 1 for sure. Night 2 it's like on par. Of course, I don't know if you guys watch AAA, that Noche de los Grandes. That was match of the year right there. But this is like a B, A plus for Noche de los Grandes, but for this, it's like a B. It wasn't a bad show. Definitely, I think it was kind of better than Backlash, which I'm kind of happy. But thank you for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed listening to this review. If you want more YouTube videos, I will gladly put them out. Let me know in the comments what was your opinion on Clash in Italy. If you liked the show, if you didn't, what you would have done better, what you think was done good. Let me know. And if you guys have any more video recommendations, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.